Hey y'all, it's Christian. Welcome back to my channel. So it's been about a month since I last posted, and I really just wanted to get through my online work. I've been done for about 2 to 3 weeks now, so I've just been really enjoying not having that responsibility. It's gonna pick back up because I did sign up for summer classes. We're just gonna see how that goes. All of Spelman's summer classes will be online, so it's probably gonna look a lot like how it looked for this pandemic, but hopefully a lot more organized. This summer will be my first summer taking a summer course. Well, I'm taking 2 summer courses, but that's not what this video is about, okay? I got these questions from Spelman24, congratulations. She sent me some very elaborate questions and she divided them into sections based on what they're about. I will say I do have videos addressing some of her questions. Of course, I will mention those as I go. I do think that these are a lot of questions that incoming students have that they usually have to wait to find out till NSO, or they just have to experience it themselves. We're just gonna go into it. So her first set of questions are about Spelman's level of academia. She wants to know, is it easy, manageable, hard, or extremely hard? I actually addressed this in one of my videos. I think it was the pros and cons video. I think that Spelman is academically challenging, but when it comes to something like that, it's very subjective. I might think that is challenging, but there are other people who don't have a hard time at all. I definitely do think that it's manageable while being challenging at the same time. The quality of its professors, this varies. I do think that Spelman hires some really qualified people, like they know what they're talking about. Most know how to present it to students. Really, just like at any school, there are professors who are great, they care, they don't try to ruin your life and your GPA, and then there are others who do the opposite. They brag about students failing their class constantly. So it depends. Is it true that you have to apply way in advance to get into the best classes? Spelman does it by classification. So the honors program will be the first to register for classes, and then seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. I think for any schedule that you're trying to create, you at least want to go into it having done your research, which I also talk about in my how to create a college schedule video. It's not necessarily having to do it before everybody else, but you want to know what you want, go into the system, and just register for classes like that. Her second set of questions is about the honors program. I just want to put out there that I was not admitted into Spelman as an honors student. I qualified after my first year and they invited me to apply. So I only know about the honors program from my 1 year. She wants to know what the typical class looks like. How hard do these classes compare with normal classes? So this previous semester, I was in 2 honors electives because that is the requirement. I mean, I really couldn't tell the difference. Like, you know, honors classes are supposed to be rigorous. You're supposed to get more work. There's a new option that you can pilot an honors class. So if you really enjoy a class, you can tell your professor that, you know, you wanted to qualify as an honors class and they give you more work. I think you should expect an honors class looking like more work and more rigor. Do the honors students mingle with other Spelman students, or are there clear divisions? Do they socialize or mostly work? Yes, you mingle. A lot of honors electives are usually 300 and above classes, and that's classes that usually upperclassmen have to take. So it's not like you're separated from everyone just because it's honors. I think the only division that there really is, especially your freshman year, is where you live. All the honors students live in LLC 1. Next we have aid. She wants to know, could someone still get a scholarship / financial aid after they get accepted? So I'm assuming this question comes after you already get your award letter. This is what the college is giving you. This is the cost of tuition. Is it possible to get more money after that? Yes. My thing about scholarships in Spelman is that you should not rely solely on Spelman for scholarships. They have institutional scholarships and you can apply to that. You should apply to that. Usually for scholarships, you have to apply to the outside ones. All of the scholarships that I've gotten since being at Spelman have come from outside sources. Just because it's possible to get one from the institution doesn't mean that you shouldn't always be looking at other sources. Her next set of questions are about career opportunities. How hard is it to get internships/job opportunities at Spelman? I don't think it's hard. If you have a Spelman email, they're literally always sending out opportunities, especially regarding internships. As for jobs, I think that it's harder to get a work-study job if you don't fall into the EFC range that the government and the financial aid office has to cater to. But you could get a campus job, so that's usually like working on campus restaurants or being a tutor or a TA. She wants to know which year does the internship/job search begin. It can start as soon as you get to Spelman. I definitely would not wait until however many months or years pass by before you start looking out for things. If there are opportunities, are they diverse or only found in certain fields? It depends on who you ask. Even if it isn't diverse, you can find things that work out for you. Her next set of questions are about balance. Can you find a balance between social life, sleep, academics, or does doing well in one come at the expense of the others? I'm optimistic enough to say that it is possible to have all of those things, but I think it's hard. I think you have to be very disciplined. You have to know how to say no to some things. You have to know how to push yourself to do some things. I also think that as college students, we sometimes settle for being without some things. Who cares that I didn't get any sleep last night? At least I got my friends and I passed that test. I don't need friends. I just need to graduate college with a 4.0 and a perfect sleeping schedule. Well, that's very lonely. I've been at literally every stage where I was without one of these things and I have not been happy. But you should never stop trying to strive towards that perfect piece of sleeping well at night, having good grades, and having amazing people to surround yourself with. Our next set of questions are about Spelman dorms. Are they all the same in terms of space, size, cleanliness? Are some more fun/united than others? For these set of questions, I recommend going to YouTube and typing in Spelman College freshman dorm tours. There are plenty of Spelmanites who have done in-depth walk in, look at the bathrooms, look at different types of room type tours. That'll really give you a good idea of what kind of space you'll be moving into. All dorms aren't the same size. My freshman year, I stayed in HH. That's the biggest freshman dorm. And you could tell there are more bathrooms, more rooms, while there are some dorms that are catered towards certain programs. So I was a Wisdom Scholar last year. I stayed in Bessie Strong. It's only 10 people, so only 10 rooms. Well, 8 singles, 1 double, and then a bathroom, but with fewer stalls. Cleanliness, they're pretty clean. I'm not gonna say it just depends on the people who clean, because usually they're on it, but you'll learn really fast that everybody was not raised the same way, so it can get pretty disgusting. You should just prepare yourself for that. As for dorms being more fun and united, so Spelman does dorm wars. It's really just a freshman thing. Anybody who lives in their freshman dorm is going to think that they have the best freshman dorm. I think that y'all should wait for your NSO experience, and I'm sure that you'll rep your dorm. I personally wish that I started out in HH. I was in temp housing, so I didn't really get to have that experience and that bond of moving in together, having those late night bonding moments. So just enjoy it for me. We're almost done. She wants to know about the organizations in the student body. Can you stroll outside a sorority, or is it limited to Greeks only? You can stroll outside a sorority. How much of a variety is there in terms of clubs? Is Spelman diverse in terms of their number of international students, or does it remain fairly national? For the clubs part, there's a lot of clubs. I probably don't even know all of the clubs at Spelman. I recommend going on the website and looking at student life, campus life, whatever. For diversity, it is fairly national, but there are international students. There's a large Caribbean population, and there's also some international exchange students from Japan, I think. Do people at Spelman mainly come from Atlanta? This is like an NSO trivia question. The number 1 state that Spelmanites come from is Georgia. I'm not sure if it's just Atlanta, but it's Georgia. Is Spelman comprised of mainly Jack and Jillers? I know what this question is asking. She wants to know, is Spelman as as bougie as people think it is. Yeah, there are definitely a lot of students who come from higher income families. I learned about the Black elite real fast coming to Spelman, but I would not write the whole institution off as that, and that's coming from somebody who's definitely not a Jack and Jiller. Spelman's actually really diverse when it comes to something like that. I think about a third, if not almost half, of the student population are Pell Grant recipients. I'm not saying that Pell Grant recipients can't be a part of Jack and Jill, but we can definitely say that it's kind of morphed into a Black elite society. So I don't want to misconstrue her question, but I do think that she was conflating high income with Jack and Jill. So to answer the question, it's not mainly comprised of those types of students, but it's a bit of a mix. Second to last set of questions are about the party scene / dating scene. Do Spelman girls party a lot? And if so, is it mainly on campus or in downtown Atlanta? You're not gonna find a party on Spelman's campus unless it's like a small get together between friends. But other than that, no, it's not gonna be on campus. Are Spelman girls discouraged to date their Morehouse brothers? Yes. I think the whole point of a Morehouse brother is to have that platonic or dependable relationship with a man of Morehouse. But there are some who do what they want to do. They tell you not to. I don't think you should. Do years mix? For example, do freshmen and sophomores hang out, or are there divisions? College is a mix. It's not really as rigid as high school is. And our last set of questions is about the AUC community. She wants to know, are students allowed to visit Clark and Morehouse dorms and vice versa, or is there a restriction on that? Well, there's this thing called visitation that we could really get down and dirty and talk about, but to answer your question, yes, you can visit Clark and Morehouse dorms. I'm not familiar with the visitation rules at Clark, but I know at Spelman, for freshmen, it's 6 p.m. to 11:45 all week. It's not a lot of time to hang out with your friends, but they're improving, kind of. They enacted a new visitation policy for upperclassmen, so we're getting somewhere. But yeah, HBCU visitation is not fun. And then her last question is, how tight-knit is the AUC environment? I would say that Spellhouse is probably a lot tighter than Spark House, which is like all 3 schools. And there are a lot of factors contributing to that. We could definitely be a lot tighter, but these were all of the questions. These were really good questions. As I mentioned, I do have some of my own videos answering some of these questions. And I also encourage y'all to watch other Spelman YouTubers because they have really good, informative, honest content. As always, I hope you're doing well in this quarantine. I don't know if we're gonna be back on campus in Spelman, so I'm just gonna pray about it. And until my next video, I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.